The government doesn't know what to do with all the junk in our orbit, so they're asking for our help. The Department of National Defense is asking researchers and scientists to submit ideas for how to get rid of the 129 million objects in Earth's orbit. Joining us now to talk space junk is Paul Delaney, professor of physics and astronomy at York University. Paul, thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, Ben.
Okay, so the DND says, quote, there is an opportunity for Canadians to take a leadership role in keeping space safe for all and for Canadian industry to reap the economic benefits that will come from finding effective and cost-efficient solutions to the problems of space debris. I think this is not a problem people think about a lot, so tell us, who put it all up there?
We all did collectively, so we're talking about NASA, the Russian Space Federation, and now more recently India, China and Japan. Anybody, and the European Space Agency, we're all collectively not been good stewards. So the idea of reduce, reuse and recycle hasn't been applied to the space environment at all.
Okay, so I guess a lot of people would say, they would just think to themselves, space is infinite, so 129 million pieces of debris in orbit. How much is that really? But apparently some of them are larger than 10 centimeters in diameter. We also think to ourselves, oh, it's just floating out there. But how much damage can this stuff actually do?
So the stuff that's floating in orbit is moving at 5, 6, 7 kilometers a second.
So it's traveling.
It's traveling. Now, if they're traveling parallel with each other, it's not a big issue. But we've got orbits that are what we call equatorial and polar. So there is the possibility for these sort of T-boning collisions. And if you're T-boning with a particle moving at 7 kilometers a second, it's going to do an awful lot of damage.
I mean, could this pose a serious health hazard to astronauts who are up there, to the International Space Station? Could something hit and puncture like a vital aspect of the ISS?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, the ISS goes through collision avoidance maneuvers about monthly. Now, the chances of the impact actually occurring are really, really small. But when they get within a threshold, which is about, I think, 10 to 15 kilometers, then the ISS actually has to do an avoidance maneuver. So, yes, this is real. This is a problem. And think about space tourism, which is on the horizon. Going into Earth orbit, space hotels, and so on. You and me are going to be in orbit a lot more frequently in the relatively near future. Would you get on a plane if you knew that you only had a 99 out of 100 chance of getting off at the far end?
Oh, Paul, I hate when you talk numbers with me.
Sorry.
Okay. When the Department of National Defense puts out a call like this to scientists to say, we need to come up with solutions, that makes me think we don't have any solutions yet. Why can't we come up with a cure to what ails ails us up in space?
It's difficult because of the volume and the size of the particles in question. B, it's expensive, which means that every single space agency hasn't got the funding to expend to try and solve the problem. We have come up with innovative techniques. In fact, there was some tried last year with harpooning and throwing nets around stuff and so on. But it's not easy. And so the DND is effectively doing a huge brainstorming exercise to see whether they can come up with a better way than they've already tried. Because what we've tried so far hasn't worked well.
2 words for you, Paul. Space Roomba. Putting it out there.
Right.
Paul, thank you very much for being here.
Cheers.
All right, now.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.